Hey everybody, I'm so glad you made the time to be here to learn more about our digital curriculum. My name is Adam Birkin and I'm the Director of Education at the Zones of Regulation, and I'm joined by Emily, our Director of Curriculum. This is what you can expect during the next 30 minutes. I'll be spending most of our time together demoing the Zones of Regulation digital curriculum. We'll also review ordering details. And finally, we'll have some time for questions. We will send a recording of this session to everyone who signed up for the meeting in case you wanted to review it or share it with colleagues. I'm assuming that many of you are at least somewhat familiar with our work, which until now has been primarily centered around Leah Kuyper's best-selling book, as well as our trainings. However, all the content in this new digital edition has been reimagined in a digital format. Making it available digitally also makes it easier to teach and even more engaging for your learners. But just as important, all the content has been updated to reflect Leah Kuyper's current thinking, and it encompasses current best practices and research around regulation. If you are entirely new to the zones of regulation, I want to ask you or encourage you to visit our homepage. You can find out more about our offerings and learn about regulation. There's a brief video that will serve as an excellent overview as you begin your exploration of the zones. We've been told that part of the popularity and wide adoption of the zones for all these years is because it's a simple system for understanding, communicating, and caring for our feelings. In fact, regulation is something everyone continually works on, whether we are aware of it or not. If we recognize when we are becoming less regulated, we are able to do something about it to manage our feelings and get ourselves to a healthy place. This comes more naturally for some, but for others, it is a skill that needs more attention and practice. That's the goal of the zones of regulation. The big overarching goals of the curriculum are about teaching learners to develop self-awareness, communication and co-regulation skills, perspective taking, and how to discover and use specific regulation tools that work for them. The original Zones book was divided into 18 lessons, and the digital curriculum is organized around 10 concepts. Think of concepts as units that are meant to be taught over multiple sessions. We'll take a closer look at one in a moment. Concepts 1 through 6 focus on self, social, and situational awareness. Concepts 7 through 10 explore and apply regulation and decision-making strategies. Implementation of the zones digital curriculum is very flexible. You can begin at any time during the year. It can be used in Tier 1 whole class settings, as well as in small group or one-on-one clinical settings. It can even be used at home. Here's some background on pricing. 1 to 9 subscriptions are $120 per user. 10 to 29 is $108 per user, so a 10% discount. 30 plus or more subscriptions are $96 per user, or a 20% discount. And a subscription is an annual license, so it starts when you first log on and then it lasts for a year. And the subscription is for one teacher or adult or clinician. So if you're a classroom teacher and you have 30 kids in your class, you're getting one subscription, one license. If you're a clinician and you have 30 or 40 kids on your caseload, you're still getting one subscription. But if there's 3 social workers in your school who are using the zones, then you're getting 3 subscriptions. The Zones of Regulation digital curriculum includes numerous resources that extend and adapt learning to ages 5 through adult. However, the interactive presentations, which I'm going to highlight in one moment, were developed for learners 8 and above. So language will need to be modified for use with younger learners and those with emergent language. The comprehensive presentation guide, also which I'll demo in a minute, has many suggestions for scaffolding learning to help you make teaching meaningful and engaging for a wide spectrum of learners. I've just logged into the curriculum, what's called the curriculum page, the main page. And as I mentioned previously, you can see there are 10 concepts and you can access them all right here. So there's the 10 concepts, and then there's some background information, the getting started, adult learning, and data collection, which I'm going to explain in a moment. So the getting started section, let me just highlight that right here. If I just click on it. When you first begin the curriculum, your first stop is the Getting Started page, which provides an overview of the digital curriculum, how it's designed, the concepts and skills it covers, and best practices for implementation. It's organized into 3 sections: curriculum overview and guidelines, how to teach a concept, and implementation in different settings. Now I'm going to go back out, and I can use this toolbar up here to navigate, and I'm going to take you to concept 2. So concept 2 is introducing the zones of regulation. And just as a little context background, each concept follows the same template or structure. So first, there's some implementation background on the concept to help you prepare for teaching it. On the right over here, there are pacing suggestions. Concepts within the curriculum are designed to be taught during multiple sessions, so learners have time to explore, practice, and apply what they are learning. Pacing will vary depending upon your schedule and your learners. As you can see, we have suggestions for teaching this concept over 3 sessions. There are further suggestions for adapted pacing within the considerations and adaptations section. So here's additional background information that can help you as a teacher, leader, prepare for teaching this concept: learning targets, key vocabulary, climate practice, materials and preparation, SEL competencies. And then when you scroll down here, you're going to see these other sections. So the presentation guide provides learners with detailed step-by-step instructions for teaching the interactive presentation, much like one might expect to see in a lesson plan. In addition to instructional and planning guidance, key parts include detailed instructions and key scripting. Let's just take a moment to load. Unfortunately, when you're on Zoom, things load slower than they would in real time. So as you can see, the key parts include details, instructions, and key scripting, accessibility and adaptations for more support, teaching tips for scaffolding, deepening and extending lesson concepts, and alternative activities to supplement or replace select digital activities with real objects or live off-screen instruction. Now I'm going to click on the interactive presentations. And it opens up in a pop-up window, so I just need to move it over so you can see it. So the highlight of every concept is the interactive presentation, which can easily be projected onto a large screen during whole class instruction or on a laptop for one-on-one settings or small groups. Over here, if I click on these 3 lines, I'm going to get a table of contents. And so as you look at the table of contents, you can see the organization of the concept. So there's a hook in every concept, which is a brief activity that engages learners and hooks them into the lesson. There's a core lesson, which is the direct instruction on learning targets. Within the core lesson, there's a group activity, which is a hands-on activity that helps learners meaningfully apply the learning targets of that specific concept. There's geared activities, which I'll describe in a minute, and the wrap-up, where learners review the learning targets and key concept information while also being prompted to consider ways to apply this new knowledge to their daily lives. You can also see that the core lesson includes a video, a digital game, and that's true of every concept. Every concept includes a video and some sort of digital game or activity. Just going to click here and close the table of contents, and I can navigate through the slides by just clicking next right down here. So here's examples of some of the interactivity. There's visuals or interactivity that are part of every slide to engage learners and get them more motivated and interested in the content. There's also a pair and share in every concept, sometimes multiple pairs and shares, so there's an opportunity for collaboration amongst your learners. Here's an example of a video. I'm just going to play a few seconds of it to give you a sense.
What are the zones of regulation? Have you ever noticed how complicated our feelings and emotions can be? We can group our feelings into 4 colored categories or zones to help us understand them. We call these the zones of regulation. We can think about how much energy or strength our feelings have to sort them into each colored zone.
Okay, I just want to give you a quick snapshot of what the video looks like. As I mentioned, every concept includes a digital activity. In this particular concept, there's a sorting activity. So I can sort this emotion, feeling into one of the different zones. And if I didn't do it correctly, I get immediate feedback. And then, as I mentioned just a second ago, there's a group activity that's part of every concept. And this particular concept, the group activity, is the learners are making a zones of regulation poster. And within the slide deck, there's detailed instructions that you can share directly with your learners about the steps of what to do for the activity, as well as what their need. So I'm going to get out of the slide deck, and I'm back here on the main platform page for concept 2. And if I scroll down, you'll see all the resources that I need to teach this particular concept are right here in front of me. So the group activity, when you're making the poster, it requires pictures of different emotions, so I can print them out right here. The check for learning is a formative assessment that you can use to check in and see how kids are learning and applying the different learning targets. The bridge is a summary of each concept to share with others who support learners, including caregivers and support teams. Each bridge includes pertinent concept information and visuals, as well as a fun activity to support generalization. And we're in the process right now translating all these bridges into Spanish, because we got lots of feedback from our users that they had some large populations of Spanish-speaking students and or caregivers. Then here are the geared activities. So the geared activities are a menu of supplemental differentiated activities designed to apply, extend, or reinforce concepts being taught. Every concept has 3 levels of geared activities: gear 1, 2, and 3. And every gear activity, within each gear, there's 3 different activities. And again, everything you need to teach these activities are right here. If I just clicked on that PDF, it would open up and I can easily print it or share it. Every concept also has a section we call zones visuals, which are resources you can use to bring the zones to life in your setting. These visuals can help you reinforce and extend the key concepts. So this particular concept, you can see, has a host of different visuals. And then finally, at the end, you're going to see the extend learning section at the bottom of each concept. which provides ways to integrate learning into your climate, communicate with caregivers and support team members, and how to use additional zones resources. I'm going to scroll back up here, and I'm just going to show you some of the other features that are available on the platform. So there are adult learning modules, which are 4 self-paced and interactive professional learning modules or courses to help you develop the foundational understanding you need to teach the curriculum with confidence, integrity, and fidelity. They include visuals and graphics to bring the content to life and provide helpful background information, interactive activities. Just opens in another screen, so I'm going to move it over there so you can see what it looks like. Videos from our trainings featuring Leah Kuipers and Emily too. Examples from the digital curriculum, animations, and reflection activities to help you synthesize and apply what you're learning. Ideally, we recommend you review these modules before teaching the curriculum. I'm going to scroll back up here, and then also you can see that there's a data collection tab, which includes a variety of data collection and progress monitoring tools you can use alongside to support the digital curriculum. And then finally, I mentioned that there were lots of resources that we looked at with Concept 2. So the resource library is a collection of all the resources that are contained in the curriculum. I can easily sort them by concept, or I can sort them by resource type. So if I wanted to see all the zone visuals that are part of the curriculum, here you can see I sorted by zones visuals, and there's lots of visuals from the concepts that I can post in my classroom and share with learners.